Okay, now starting with the session and okay, hi everyone, let's understand today's journey. And this is again one more session which we are conducting with one of our student, Aviral, and we'll understand a journey wherein he started and the end score which we have is 705. Right, Aviral? You got that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. A 99th percentile, guys. A good, very nice, very motivating score, I would say. Right? Why? Because we all aspire to get to that, and getting that, I believe that's the journey we should learn more about. Right? So we'll have a quick introduction. Right? This is all the session of Aviral, so he'll be helping us out and understanding what exactly is the journey or about. A brief introduction, Aviral, from you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kapil. For first of all, thanks for this opportunity to speak. And I've been on the other side, and any help that I could give to the other people would be super great an opportunity. But yeah, a little bit about me. So I completed my economics I completed undergrad my economics from Hansraj College, Delhi University. Post which I started working in finance consulting. Did that for a year and a half, and now move towards the startup side of things, where I'm working as the CEO's office associate at a healthcare startup in Gurgaon, where I work on strategy and data analytics with the CEO and the leadership team. So for me, like the MBA was an opportunity to upskill myself for me to move in the next phase of my life or have the next phase of growth in my life. So yeah, that's it. That's why MBA was really important, and the precursor to that, the GMAT, was also very important for me.
Okay, fair enough. So, how much experience, Aviral, you have, and you said you graduated in 2000, which year it was from Hansraj, right? Which year you graduated?
So I graduated in June 2021.
21. So approximately three and a half years of experience you have, and that's a good average amount of the experience which everyone who applies for the GMAT requires to have. Means if it's good always to have some experience and then getting that exposure and applying those things onto the real world to get more about the understanding of the real world scenario. That actually helps. Okay, fair enough. So you delved under why GMAT then?
Great, great. So, I mean, for me in order to upskill myself to move to the next set of roles, which is I want to be in the short term work at some larger organizations at the central strategy roles. And for that, I felt that an MBA is a very important tool for me to upskill myself in not just like technical aspects, but also soft skills aspect. And in order to get into a top B school, not just in India, but globally as well, the GMAT was the first step in the whole process. So hence I thought that, let's start with the GMAT first, clear that out, have that under my belt, and then move on to the applications bit.
Okay, fair enough. So why? So how you come across career launcher? How you thought that there must be other options as well? So why you thought seal?
So, I mean, CL actually, my brother actually is also studying here. He studied here and took the courses for I believe he was preparing for the judicial services or something like that. So he gave me a recommendation for Career Launcher, and then I went through the GMAT's curriculum in terms of the videos and the types of questions that are there. And yeah, that's how I enrolled in the program.
Fair enough. And you took any the open sessions which we conduct, or you searched web, or what exactly was the step you took?
Yeah, so I mean, one very helpful thing that I found was I just reached out to the operations team here, and they conducted a one-on-one session with me with one of the teachers here, one of the faculty members here. That helped me a lot to understand, because this was the first time for me looking at the Focus Edition. I'd actually taken the GMAT previous edition, the classic edition test before last year, 2023. But Focus Edition was new for me. So he helped me calm my nerves on and give me a lot of information on the Focus Edition, and also told me about how we were going to, take forward our preparation. So that gave me a lot of confidence. So hence I enrolled with CL.
Perfect. So you took a decision where you understood that GMAT was required, did your own research, and then what was the next step? You took the diagnostic. What exactly was the score? Was it motivating? Was it a score which you thought that it will be more efforts will be required, or what do you think it was?
So it's a part of two things. I actually, as I told you, I had taken the GMAT exam last year as well. That time it was Focus Edition. Sorry, that time it was the Classic
Yeah,
Edition. The Focus Edition was just getting introduced. I took the
launched.
Classic one and I underperformed my expectation. I got a 680. So
Okay.
wasn't really happy with that score, but was getting decent marks in the mocks. So when this time I came to into the GMAT preparation, I had a little bit of that pressure of not performing the last time. So but that helped me, the sessions with the faculty, and understanding a lot about, researching a lot about the Focus Edition, the new section DI, some changes in the curriculum, those helped a lot. And yeah, I mean, that's how I started my preparation. I did not take
Perfect.
a diagnostic tent intentionally, because
Okay.
anyway I was under a lot of pressure from the previous failure, sort of, quote unquote. But yeah, then this time
Mhm.
they've uh, jumped right into the preparation.
Okay, fair enough. So you understood that there is an improvement which is required. You got a 680 in the classic edition, and then there was a 99th percentile, which was the target score. Obviously, you were at 85th percentile at that point of time. Reaching to a 99th, 14 percentiles improvement or a 10 percentile plus improvement, that was your target, I believe, which you thought to get into your dream score or a dream university where you are applying for. So good to see that you are able to get to that particular understanding. uh, Maybe uh, that particular score has helped you understand a lot about your strength and weaker areas, that initial classic edition, so you didn't took the diagnostic. So perfect, now you have understood the challenges which you faced during the previous ones. So how you approached, and then what were the challenges which you thought that previously you did encountered, and how you managed to uh, rectify or overcome those challenges?
Had a little bit of that experience of, it's not a, so it's somebody took, some people take the diagnostic test and they get a feedback from there. I had a GMAT Classic Edition for me to take my feedback on. So that was one challenge or a mental pressure that I had, that last time I performed so well in the mocks but could not perform in the D-Day. So this time I have to up that. That was one thing, that was a lurking thought in my head. The other thing was purely time management, right? Like, because I am also currently working full time, and it's sort of a 11 to 12 hour commitment every day, Monday to Saturday. So balancing studies with that time was a little bit of that, required a little bit of planning. And the third was just purely, getting in the mood to study after around 3 years of graduation, which is a lot of, it takes a lot of mental pressure, or a lot of mental conditioning, because working is a lot different than studying. Like, those two are two different skill sets to sort of master on. So that took me about 2 to 3 weeks, I'm sure, for me to get in that zone of studying.
Perfect. So 2 to 3 weeks it took you to get into that mode of learning and again unlearning and then learning. So you gave the classic edition. So how much time it took to get to 680 initially, right? Let's understand why. Because 705 you got us from 685 to a 705, that is 90th percentile to a 99th, 85th percentile to a 99th percentile. So how much time you invested in the previous 680? How much was that efforts?
So, yeah, I mean, the last time I prepared, 2023, when I took the Classic Edition test, was about 2 to 2.5 months. I self
Okay.
prepared and took some help from the OG material and some material that I could find from my friends in terms of learning, etc. So, that's why I gave 2 to 2.5 months. And that's another learning that I actually had this time off. I gave myself 3 months plus 1 month buffer for me to prepare more, because I felt like maybe time is directly proportional to the result, which is actually what it was in my personal case, right? So
Hmm.
I gave myself more time this time, and I had a deadline of 3 months, which is 1 plus 1 month extendable. Let's say I had to reappear, or I wanted that extra time to prepare, or was not sure at the end of 3 months. So yeah, this was a change from the last time.
Perfect. So previous 685 it took 2 months, and then you from a 685 to a 705, which requires a lot of efforts. It took approximately again 2.5 to 3 months. So that's the whole journey I could understand when you joined CL, and then it took approximately from a 680 to a 705, approximately 2 to 3 months. This is what we can understand from the journey. Perfect. So that's what the efforts are, right? That means a lot of efforts required to get to that particular score, which means a lot of conceptual things needs to be in place in order to have that minute changes in the score, which leads to a small correct answers leads to a higher this thing, and the efforts required is quite high. Perfect. So how your classes now, you started with you have not given the diagnostic, you had your own uh, strength and weaker areas. So how the CL, when you started your journey, how the classes and everything, the portal and the resources which are there, how have you used that, how have that helped you understand the gaps, and how what were the steps which you have taken to rectify those with the resources or with the classes, or what the things which you have in hand and you got that score.
Sure. So, I mean, as I told you, right, it took me about 2 to 3 weeks to get for me into the zone of 100% studying every day. So, what I did was I started with watching the CL videos. I had the recorded lectures all throughout collected at the start itself. So, I had watched that on my pace. So, I watched in a particular week, I used to watch 2 to 3 videos and then practice the next 2 to 3 days. I used to practice the questions that I had watched in those videos. So, let's say a particular topic I watched in the 2 to 3 videos, and then I practiced those questions. So a month or month and a half passed by that. I used the CL videos to watch the concepts and learn concepts, wrote and made some notes about them. And then for practice questions, I used the portal questions, which were again sorted by topic and sorted by the day's class that I had taken. So let's say I had taken class one of a particular topic. So I practiced the questions of that class, did those, had if I had any doubts I used to reach out to you actually, and then we used to get those sorted. And I remember having so many conversations about exact one question each, right? So did that for about a month and a half. And then then was using the, I think, the test simulations that are there on the portal. So use
Okay.
those, give some longer forms of exams that happened at month 1.5 or 2. So after 1.5 or 2 months of preparing the whole curriculum and then practicing the portal questions, then move to the longer sectional tests sort of things that are there on the portal. Did those, and with that also practice the official guide.
Perfect. So have you studied? A question comes. Have you studied that every particular recording? Why? Because why is that a point? Is because you had a lot of this thing of self study. So have you done all the recordings, understood, made your notes, and how many questions do you practice on your practice days? Was it a timed practice? Was it a numbered practice? So what was the strategy on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. So, I mean, even I had that feeling or that confidence of maybe I could get away with a couple of videos because of my previous preparation, but I did not do that actually. Again, in conversation with you, I completed the whole series. Actually, watched some of those videos because they had a lot of concepts. So I watched them 2 or 3 times over. So I completed all the videos, watched a couple of videos again and again. And then for the question practicing model, what I did was first the portal questions, which are timed questions, and the number of questions are also set. So I have a set pattern. Did that for a year, for a month and a half or two. And then when I moved to self practice, which was just purely practice and the videos were over, I used the like a small hack of 50, 45, 45, 45, which is 45 minutes of three sets of 45 minutes questions each. And I simulated the exam in that preparation. So let's say on any given day, on a weekday or a weekend, I used to practice 45 minutes of quant, 45 minutes verbal, and 45 minutes DI, and the same number of questions that come in the GMAT test. So for me, by the time I'd taken the actual test, I'd given not mocks but also these practice sessions almost 30 or 40 times over. So for me, it was easier for me to context switch from, say, let's say one section to another section. That was really helpful. I did daily practice also, like I was taking the GMAT exam. So that's also another hack that you told me about. That was really helpful for me. Um, and yeah, and whatever questions I got right or even wrong, what I used to do was at the morning, I used to practice these 45 plus 45 plus 45, let's say before office. And then after office, I used to come back and review each and every question. Let's say even those that were right or those were wrong. I checked what was my logic on answering those questions right or wrong, and then checked the answers and what was their logic. So, and whenever there was a like a disconnect between them, and I thought that that logic is incorrect and hence the answer is incorrect, we also had like a lot of doubt sessions as well, right? With a lot of me screen sharing, we had a lot of discussions on each one question also, right? So did that, and that was a small 3 or 4 ways that I prepared, uh, took questions and
Okay.
practiced.
Perfect. Guys, three major points Aviral has given us. So, first thing is that he has reviewed all the recordings, right? He have emphasized a lot on. He has actually done the preparation. Thought that he'll not review the recordings, but for the improvement part, he has done again that hard work, right? Again, reviewed all the things. There were the gaps, which he might not have. At that point of time starting, but while preparing, so he understood that these are the gaps which are to be filled, which helped him increase that score to that particular level. Second important point, that daily basis practice which has to be timed, guys. So this, everyone, see to it, this is a thing which has to be done from day one. The more you can do a timed practice, right, that would be actually a lot of improvement, and a lot of efforts uh, are put in for a timed manner. Why? Because I can do a question in a 5 minutes approach, but 5 minutes way, but that approach you cannot use on the main D day. So that was the point which helped a lot in the improvement journey for Aviral. So try applying that, and always do whatever the point which we have. The third point is that whatever you have done in morning, so try doing a review of the mistakes, not only of the mistakes but of the correct things which you have got in the morning, so that there is an error log which helps you do a lot of check of yourself. Good point, Aviral. Now let's move forward now. So we understood that you did a good this thing. So you prepared, completed your course well in time, with all the reviewing, the recordings, practice from the portal, and then what was the mock, this thing? How was your mock experience? Was it closer to the actual scores which you were getting? You analyzed the marks. Was there an increment in the score which was there, or was that a stagnation in the score? How you managed to get to that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, for me personally, actually, when I was planning for like, this time of studying and taking the GMAT this time, I thought that I'll complete the whole course and take the exam at end of month 3. But what ended up happening was, because I took a little bit more time and practiced some more questions than I thought. So I extended the time of taking the test at almost 3.5 months. So I extended the period by 15 days because I had the time and planned it to do it. But how I used those last 15-20 days was that, although this took a lot of like pressure, but I took almost 8 to 10 mocks, and these were all official mocks. I used the MBA.com mocks, the two ones that are free, and I purchased a set of 4 mocks. I think we get, and one tip that my senior gave to me was that you're going to invest, if you're going to invest like 20, 30, 50 a crore, lakhs or a crore in a MBA, might as well invest like 10, 20,000 in the preparation of the application, right? So that's why I purchased those 4 mocks. I gave them, you can give them 2 times, post which the questions keep getting repeated. So I gave them 8 times. I took the mocks, almost 10 mocks, 2 or 3 each week, and then spend a lot of time just reviewing them. and the review again was similar to the thing that I did in the questions, or reviewed the right ones as well as the wrong ones, and see if my approach is right or not. Because the answer and the because the answer is not the final thing, right? That could be a this thing also, luck factor also. It's a There are just 5 options, so there's a 20% chance to get it right. So my idea was to get the approach right. And one more thing was that at the end of each mock, I used to write the score down in a pen with a pencil and paper, and just put it in a table. So I knew whatever patterns after, let's say, mock 5 or 6, I could see that there were some patterns emerging. There was a little bit of increment in the score. I actually scored 705 in my mocks at the fourth mock. The first three were terrible. I mean, I realized that I had to practice a lot more in that format. So then the from the fourth mock onwards, I started understanding what the pattern of the exam is. How do I need to be in that zone, etc. Took a lot of help from you as well, in terms of these are the scores that I've been getting for the last 6 times for verbal, quant, and DI. So which one should I focus? Which is the place that I should work on? So we used to do a lot of that as well, right? So yeah, spend time and effort in taking the mocks and also reviewing it similarly.
Okay, perfect. So that is what. So 2 points. First is that understanding the fundamental is one thing. Applying those fundamentals onto the test, onto the mocks is one. So start seeing that practice is has to be there, and then applying those things onto the mock, that actually requires a lot of strategy work, that actually require a lot of thoughts. Why? Because if your score is not coming, a lot of practice which you have done, the last step is quite critical. Whatever you have done for last 1.5 2 months, that should give the results in that particular 15 days or a 1 month period when you are giving the mocks. And the second is that see to it that every score and improvement which comes with each and every section analysis, right, which Aviral has also done. So understanding where exactly is the area of improvement in each section, not only as 705 or 695 or a 685, that has to be done in depth with respect to each section, be it a quant, verbal, and a DI, and then focusing on the area which gives a good result of getting a 705 or 715. So that's what that are the two critical points. See to it that practice mocks is somewhat different from practicing on a regular basis, and second is getting to understand each and every sectional scores in order to reach your target score. Perfect. Now the next part. So you did the mocks, you understood it carefully, you used the resources which were there. Now on the test day, what was the experience, and how uh, you went to the center half an hour before or 1 hour before? What was that? How was the experience there? Was it comfortable? You got to understand? Have you used the calculator on a DI section? And last, what was the sectional order which you have attempted the questions for? Have you used the quant DI verbal DI quant? What was your thoughts, and how have you approached? Have you used the same one in the mocks, or you have changed your mock strategy onto the main exam? Aviral.
Sure. So for me, the test day experience is I actually had prepared the little folder which had my the passport, the documents and all the things that need to be carried to the exam 1 or 2 days in advance. So nothing to be kept on the day of the exam. For the day of the exam, very simple. Just looking at some formulas from the DI section, some things, some error log, as you said. Just looked at it. No practice. I thought that I'll do some practice before the test, but I actually reviewed just the questions that I did, so that just I got into the zone of this. There is the test that's there today. Also, just relaxing. Just slept a lot, and it's easier said than done. I did not sleep too much before that night, but yeah, just tried to keep my mind as chill as possible, because those 2 hours 15 minutes, that's the duration of the test, is you have to be 100% present there, right? Like each and every question is demanding, and you need to be present for each and every minute of that time period. And it's not a long time period sounding wise, but when you're applying 100% of your brain, it's a little bit difficult to constantly stay in that zone. So yeah, I was wary about that. And how I was wary about that is like the mock test. I very actually, again, this was another strategy suggested by you. How do I uh, how did I categorize or how did I structure my mocks as well as the final exam was in terms of the sections arrangement is I started with, for me, the second easier or the like, a test section that would help me get in the zone, which was quant for me. So I started with quant, which helped me get in the zone of the exam, fully prepared and, fully focused. And I knew that I had to take some time in the first 15-20 minutes to get in the zone. So I took a easier one for me. Then in the next section went to verbal, which for me was the toughest, or for me is the most challenging section. So uh, kept that in the middle so that I am by 45 minutes, I'm ready and fully exam, fully focused. And the last did the most easiest section for me personally, again, which was DI. So my idea was to one the first section to keep it something that you can get in the zone with. Second, the most difficult, so that you're in the exam at, let's say, an hour mark. And then in the last, you have a chill zone because you're already tired with 1.5 hours of like constant questions back and forth. Do the most easiest part to the last. So that's how I followed the approach of structuring, and this was followed from the mocks all together to the final day. So I did this exact structure for about 2 months, so that I am well accustomed with it when I'm on the exam floor.
Okay, perfect. So got to understand that it was the exact this thing. So first thing, that the mocks which were there and the test day experience, see to it that you relax, right? A lot of things happens, right? You have to get to that zone very in a calm manner, so that the mind and you have that you are not fatigued out the day before. Having a good amount of rest actually helps a lot on the test day, so that you are not in that mode of zoning out. Second point which we understood is that the point of sectional order, which are very common question, right? Should I start with my weakest area, or should I start with my strength area? Both are perfectly okay, and you have to decide in your mocks, which Aviral has also done, that understanding that strength, starting with a section which has a strength area, so that you are in that mode of the exam, and then your confidence build with the quant, right? His strength was quant, and he has got that confidence with the quant section, uh, and then took the verbal, which was the challenging section, which requires a lot of effort. So he was there in the exam with that mode on during that verbal section, gave a good try there for the verbal, and then the DI was an easier one. So that's how. And this third point, he has actually tried and tested a lot on his particular mocks, which he has given 7 to 8 times or 10 times. So that was the key thing. Whatever, do not change the strategy at the end. Try and test, stick to that, and then at least for 3 to 4 mocks, understand how your own strategy works and apply that. There is open this thing for everyone, right? You can start with your strength areas or a weaker areas. That depends on your own preference, and but it should give you the results which you require to get. Perfect. So a quick breakup, how much at the end, what was the breakup which you have got for quant, verbal, and DI?
Yeah, sure. So for the quant, I got a 94th percentile or 87 out of 90 score. For verbal, I got 85, which is a 96th percentile. And for DI, I got an 83, which was the 96th percentile again. So almost in line with what I was expecting in terms of the sections. At the end, I would say that, some of those strategies really worked out for me at the test day because like doing the simulations of the exam day, which were the mock exams and the practice 45 45 45 sets, actually helped me to be a lot more present in the DI section, because midway through the DI section I felt like I was like not at my 100%, and at the end of it I was able to get I think almost 19 questions correct out of the 20. So yeah, helped those practice sections helped me to get there.
Okay, perfect. Last, how was the what's the next step now, and how are you planning to take the next phase of your life? Future uh, steps which you think that helps you in your development of your career now.
Sure. So, getting the GMAT done and getting a desired score was a very big relief and a very big confidence booster for me. So, I completed that and then I could move on to the next steps. For me personally, I have applied to the Indian School of Business, ISB, which is the only school that I'm applying to this year. And I just got a interview call and got done with the interview as well. So, hoping to get the results in a couple of weeks as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's the only school I'm looking for right now, and hopefully later if there is any other targets that come up. But yeah, I'm really happy with where I'm able to get here, and that is because of the confidence that I got because of the GMAT.
Perfect. So, quick this thing. All the best for your future endeavors, right? And I hope, and we all hope that
Thank you.
you get to that particular aspirational this thing for the course which is there, which you told us. So, you obviously the profile which you have, which I understand, it's a good one, as well as the score which you have got, that actually will help you a lot in your future. So last, how has that journey now which you started, and how would you conclude the CL's journey with you, and what were your experiences, and what were the suggestions for the existing as well as for the future students?
Absolutely. So, I mean, for me personally, CL was transformational in terms of from getting where I was in terms of the score as well as my confidence to getting where I am. It was absolutely, I tried to use as much as the resources and the tools that were at my disposal here at CL, be it the questions at the portal, the videos, or one-on-one sessions, doubt sessions with you and with everyone else, with all the other teachers. I took a lot of the time to understand. You gave me a lot of feedback, very personalized feedback actually, in terms of what I should work on, which are the sections topic wise also, which I should work on. So use that, had a lot of continuous dialogue going on so that I have feedback real time in terms of how I'm performing. So yeah, I mean, really, really great. And to all the students like who are going to take the GMAT, on all the best. And it's a matter of just a little bit discipline and yeah, then and a lot of good guidance which can get you through.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Good. I believe a very, very nice understanding and a very, very crystal clear path which is there. Aviral has given us the understanding for. So that is what I would say. That see to it that each and everything which was discussed, you can take a lot of takeaways from this, and see to it that how that can be helpful, or which are the inputs which you can use in your own preparation to get to that particular target score. Thank you, Aviral, and we hope that you get to your dream school, that is ISB, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Have a good
Thank
day.
you so
Take care.
much. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, it's thankful for me to have this opportunity and get this guidance from not just you and people, mentors from here, to get to hopefully get to where I am. Thank you so much for this opportunity as well.
Okay, great to see. Great, 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 Aviral.